Hey, if you don't know, there's a guy from Roddy Ricch is a successful rapper. He's very popular. He's very commercially successful. There's a guy that actually comes from his neighborhood who's very angry at him. He's very upset with him, and it's easy for us to say that this guy is jealous. This guy's bitter. This guy wishes he was in Roddy's position because this guy is also a local rapper. And when you search this guy YAH-L's name in YouTube, nothing pops up. The only thing that pops up is a video that he was actually featured in. It was another artist's video, and he's a featured artist on it, and it's from 7 months ago. And the only other thing that, and none of his music pops up. The only thing that pops up are videos talking about how he's jealous of Roddy Ricch. But essentially,
I'm not going to be a part of this. Homie, be a part of this. I don't know about you, but I'm not going to be a part of this. I look up. They say they left. I don't know what came over Roddy and Bird, whatever transpired. I look up, the nigga come back to the hood, get a 3-second put on, and he from the hood.
All right. So basically, he's upset at Roddy. Originally, it was presented as he was upset with Roddy Ricch simply because Roddy Ricch wasn't fulfilling his obligations to the hood. He felt like the hood, the Park Village Compton Crips, gave Roddy an identity early on in his career. They gave him something to claim, something to represent. And in the world of hip hop, it's very violent now, and essentially the record labels are like gangs, and the rappers are like gang members now. So I guess nowadays in hip hop, you've got to have some sort of connection to the street. So basically, this guy YAH-L was saying that the Park Village Compton Crips gave Roddy that. They gave him an identity to represent. They gave him something that he could claim that would give him legitimacy and credibility within the streets. And, you know, now that he can rep this hood legitimately because he's a real member, people will take him seriously when he raps about street stuff. But I think that the real underlying issue is this. All right, so YAH-L, whatever he's upset about when it comes to Roddy Ricch is just a manifestation of what I'm about to say. What I'm about to say. Basically, this situation has been going on ever since gangs started to exist. All right, there's always been these opposing factors within the gang world. You've had members who weren't financially successful, members who weren't generating a lot of money. They were loyal. You know, they would fight for the gang. They would die for the gang. They had shed blood, sweat, and tears for the gang. But at the end of the day, they've never been serious money generators. They've always just been the guys on the front line who represented the gang through their blood, sweat, and tears. And then, on the other hand, you've had guys that were financially successful, guys who were able to generate a lot of money for the gang. And these guys actually started to move up in ranking and in status in the gang because they were able to provide the gang with financial resources. So the guys who were loyal to the gang, the guys who weren't able to make a bunch of money for the gang, but they were willing to fight for the gang and die for the gang and be completely loyal to the gang, they got pushed to the side because these new guys who were able to generate a whole bunch of money for the gang became the number one priority. These were the guys that were getting all of the high-ranking positions within the gang, and these were the guys who were getting all the influence in the gang. So it created this dichotomy where you had the guys who were on the front line dying for the gang, fighting for the gang, representing the gang, the guys who were actually responsible for making the gang's name ring loud across, whatever city they're in. These guys are not getting rewarded for what they're doing. They're actually getting, maligned and pushed to the side simply because they aren't able to generate the same level of money as these other guys. And these other guys, they might not be with the business. They might not have killed before. They might not have gotten into a fight before. They might not be out there on the front line willing to risk their life for the gang. All they're doing is generating money, and since money is such an important asset in life in general, they're able to bypass all of those requirements that those other guys had to go through in order to gain their credibility within the gang. So instead of going out there and having to fight, kill, represent the gang, shed blood, sweat, and tears, these guys are coming to the gang as a financial asset, and they're able to just completely skip all of those requirements. and they immediately shoot to the top, and they immediately have all the influence and all the popularity within the gang because they're a financial resource. And the guys who aren't financial resources, the guys who aren't able to make a bunch of money, but they are the ones that are actually on the front line for the gang, these guys get a little bit jealous because they're looking at it like, hey, you know, we don't have a whole bunch of money, but at the end of the day, we're the ones who are dying for this gang. If somebody comes through our neighborhood and shoots it up or disrespects us, we're the ones that are going out there and actually doing something about it. These guys that make a whole bunch of money, you guys are getting all the influence and all the power and all the top position and all the top positions within the gang, but at the end of the day, you guys haven't proven yourself. You guys haven't actually shed blood, sweat, and tears for the gang. All you guys are doing is just making money, and you know, you're being rewarded for that by basically being treated, being spoiled, being treated in a biased way. And I think that's the conflict that's at play here with this whole Roddy Ricch situation. I think that this guy YAH-L has been he's older than Roddy Ricch. He's about 40. Roddy Ricch is only 23. This guy has been around for a very long time. He's been shedding blood, sweat, and tears for the gang for a while. He's been representing this gang for a long time. But the problem is he's not rich. He's not able to generate a whole bunch of money for the gang. And he's looking at this Roddy Ricch guy as a newcomer. He's looking at him like, okay, so everybody's gravitating to Roddy Ricch because they knew that he was a successful rapper. They knew that he was a rapper that was on the cusp of becoming successful. So he's getting all the love, he's getting all the attention, he's getting all the loyalty from the gang, and he's actually, and because of this, he's able to kind of skirt past the rules. He's only, he gets put onto the gang after having a 3-second fight. You know, they're bending the rules for him because they're trying to make it easier for him to join the gang because they want that resource. They want him as an asset. And I guess this YAH-L guy is looking at it like, hey, the rules should be the same for everybody. Just because this guy is an asset on a financial level doesn't mean that, he's better than anybody. So I don't think that it's about YAH-L being jealous or being bitter about the fact that Roddy's successful. People are looking at the situation like, oh, Roddy Ricch became successful, and all of these guys that are a part of his gang, they want a percentage of his earnings. They want him to make them famous. They want to become rich through Roddy. I don't think that's what it is. I think it's that classic dichotomy between gang members who are not wealthy but they're putting in all the work versus gang members that are wealthy that don't have to put in any work to get their status in the gang. I think it's just that classic conflict at play, So, yeah. And that's why you shouldn't join a gang, because it's enough politics and it's enough, confusion and complex social situations going on in the real world. So why do you want to join a gang and, get involved in all this messy stuff, So it's better to just stand on your own as an individual. Peace.